Some of the debate in here, the accusations are flying as well. They might be after a game as emotionally charged as this for Arsenal fans. So who's to blame?
I think obviously when you're at a football club, you all take the blame right the way through. I can't personally sit here and look any further than the players. I mean, I don't think the team was correct. I mean, setting up with Xhaka and Ramsey in central midfield away from home at Anfield, with Ozil and Sanchez just outside them, is never going to be enough probably to be able to deal with what Liverpool are. I've never understood the sort of lack of attention to the opposition. You know, you play against an Arsenal team 10, 15 years ago, and we're at United. Darren Fletcher comes into the team to sit to the right-hand side. You play against Liverpool, you have to go and mark Steven Gerrard in that right channel and put somebody in there because he's going to whip those crosses in. Whoever you're playing against, you have to make sure you attend to the threats, and Arsenal never do that in games, so that's not a surprise, I don't think. I think the issue today I had in the first 15, 20 minutes, and why I was as scathing as I was because Ozil, Ramsey, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Sanchez and Xhaka, all of them, on occasions in that first 15, 20 minutes, didn't do the most basic thing that I think every fan, every coach, every manager, every player knows they have to do, and that is when the ball goes past you and it goes towards your goal and your teammates are struggling, you run back as quickly as you possibly can. You're told that at the age of 5. At the age of 12 and 13, you start getting told to get into your shape quickly, and then when you get into the first team, you're told about transition. Give the ball away, get back in, transition, transition. So all the way through your career, you're told about this thing, and it's a personal pride thing. And I'm naming those 5. I've not looked back at the video of the game, there may be more, but that is absolutely disgraceful, and that doesn't represent the Arsenal shirt, doesn't represent what they are, and they've let themselves down as individuals. So you say who's to blame? I can only start and end with that. In terms of the tactics, the football, the mistakes and all the other stuff, I mean, there's a million things you could go into. I mean, you need 5 Monday night footballs and to be able to go through all the things that they did wrong tactically and individually. But just the simple premise of working hard and getting back in towards your own goal is just ridiculous, unacceptable.
Well, your reaction, Gary, I think was in the first half. Put them all on the transfer list. It's not going to happen, is it? So how do Arsenal make this better?
I mean, obviously I wasn't being serious when I said put them all on the transfer list, but I said in the first half that I can't think of any one of those players that actually, if they went on the transfer list, would end up at a better club. Now, people might say Sanchez might, you know, because obviously, you know, but if I was watching Sanchez out there today, he's thrown the towel in him over the last 6, 7 months. In the very first 5 minutes, 10 minutes of the match, he was giving it that one, that throwing the arms one up and down where, you know, I'm the only one trying. I think I said it on commentary. He's a fantastic player, he's a spirited player, he's a tiger when he plays on the pitch at his best. But for the last 6 months, he's not covered himself in glory. So to be honest with you, if I was another club, you know, would I look at him thinking that that's something that I want? Yeah, he might do a job for you for 1 or 2 years, but he's likely to do the same to you at some point.
What about the manager, Gary? You've talked about the tactics, you've talked about the team selection. Might Arsenal look back on this decision to give Arsene Wenger another 2-year contract with regret?
No, I mean, this was raging all the way through last season, and I am still adamant that I wanted Arsene Wenger to stay at the football club, and I still don't change it after a performance like that today, and I never will. And ultimately, that's just something that, from my point of view, there's a level of respect that I feel as an ex-professional, that you sit here and say ultimately that, you know, you don't, you know, turn on managers and coaches. They've got a very difficult job. Arsene Wenger's done this job for a long, long time and deserves the utmost respect. It's becoming more difficult for him at the football club because the players that he has faith in aren't good enough and let him down time and time again. And he shows too much loyalty to those players, in my mind. You know, the likes I said, mentioned them before, they've been at the club for a long time, some of those players, and they're not doing it for him. They're not really, when they cross that white line, putting their absolute maximum effort in, and that's the most disappointing thing. And he was dejected in that interview. I feel for him, but I'm certainly not going to start, you know, sticking the knife into him tonight and saying this is the moment where he should go. No, I wouldn't do that. I look at the players. Yes, of course you look at Arsene Wenger. He'll be looking at himself, I'm sure, and there'll be great cries over this next few weeks, and there'll be people listening to me now who don't, to be fair, believe a word I'm saying or think that ultimately I should be saying what I'm saying. But the reality